welcome to the channel. Today we are going to cook our very favorite recipe. Now this was a modification of many recipes we have tried for catfish, so we hope that you absolutely love it. We are into some spicy foods, so this is going to have a little bit of a southern kick. With that being said, we have 3 fish we're going to be cooking up today. So we're going to have yellow bullhead catfish, we're going to have channel catfish, and we're also going to have saltwater hardhead catfish. So we were kind of curious. There's so many types of catfish. Do they honestly taste any different? We just caught our first yellow bullhead about 2 weeks ago. And a lot of people said that the flavor can be a little weird. So we're gonna do a blind taste testing. This is a video link. We're also gonna include it at the end of this video if you wanna check out that video and see, honestly, is there a better catfish? We're curious too. So both kinds of catfish are gonna be freshwater except for the hardhead. That one's a saltwater. So let's get on to cooking. Okay, so the first step we're gonna do is we are going to be tripling 3 times the recipe because we're using 3 times the amount of normal catfish. So the first step we wanna do I'm gonna tell you the normal recipe. So if you're using this for 1 catfish, this would be accurate, okay? For 1 catfish, you're just gonna literally add 1/2 cup of cornmeal, okay? Boop, you're done. I'm gonna go ahead and do the triple because that's what we're doing. So we're gonna go and do 1, 2, 3. Again, if you're doing a single cat, you just want 1 cup or 1/2 cup of cornmeal. So the next step is we're gonna go ahead and add in our flour. Now, if you're doing a normal recipe, you're going to do 3/4 cup of flour total. So that's what you're gonna do for flour. We're doing the triple, so I'm gonna have a little bit more than that. Just bear with me on this whole process. Okay. All right. Okay, so now we're gonna get on to seasonings. So we're gonna start with garlic powder. Now again, if you're using a single recipe, you're gonna do about 2 teaspoons of garlic powder. Then grab your little tisp, go ahead and load it down. 1, 2. Now again, we're tripling, so I'm gonna do more. 3, 4, 5, 6. It's a little bit of garlic powder, you know what I'm saying? Okay. So next we're gonna go ahead and do pepper. Now I like to do freshly ground, so I'm just gonna sort of estimate it, but what you're gonna honestly do is 2 teaspoons of freshly ground or pre-ground pepper. Obviously it's way easier to measure the pre-ground pepper. I'm just gonna spot it because I kind of know what this is supposed to look like. Probably gonna cut this pretty quick because this is gonna take me forever. But we're gonna go ahead and add our pepper in. So again, for your normal recipe, you're looking at 2 teaspoons. Okay, so the next step is we're gonna go ahead and add 2 teaspoons of paprika. So let me get my teaspoons out. All right. 1, 2, and again, I'm using the triple recipe, so I'm gonna go ahead and do a little more. 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, so again, you guys just want 2 teaspoons, just 2, don't go crazy. Okay, the next step is gonna be cayenne pepper. Now, obviously, if you don't like things spicy like we do, and we do like spice, Just don't go this hard on the cayenne. Tone it down a little bit, you know what I'm saying? Okay, we're gonna get our tisp out again. Here we go. If I can find it, it's on here. Here we go. Okay, tisp. So, we are going to do 2 teaspoons of cayenne per recipe. Again, you don't like spicy, just go with less. That's all I'm saying. You don't want to go crazy. I'm doing 3 rounds of recipe, so I'm going to go ahead and put 6 in total. That's 3 rounds of 2 teaspoons. I think you know how to do math. We're on the same page. Boom, done. Okay, so the next thing is we're going to go, wow, it's not the top for that. Okay, now our additive that we like to add into like basically everything seafood is lemon pepper. We love lemon pepper. So, we're gonna go
lemony.
Make it lemony. You like it? Yes. Okay, so we're gonna get another teaspoon, little tisp up in here, and it's gonna be lemon pepper. So we like to add, let's say 2 tisps of lemon pepper. Here we go, per recipe, boom. Okay, 2 in there. Now we're gonna go ahead and add more because we're doing a big recipe. Okay, now I would say 1 to 2 teaspoons of lemon pepper. If you're not a big fan of lemon, go ahead and shoot it with a 1. If you like some lemon on your seafood, go ahead and shoot it to a 2. Okay guys, the very last seasoning we're gonna do is gonna be salt. So when you're adding salt, you want to do 1 teaspoon per recipe. So here we go. We got your tisp. Okay, we got that. Cool. So we're gonna go 1. And again, you guys are doing 1 recipe, so literally just add 1. I'm gonna go ahead and add 2 and 3. All right. Honestly, I usually do like just shy of 1. So don't do like a bulbous 1 teaspoon. That's gonna be insane. I usually go just shy of 1, so just be aware of that. We don't want it overtly salty, but obviously you want some salt there for presence. So now we are completely set with our batter, and we are psyched because we're gonna cook ourselves some fishes. All right, guys, let's move on. The oil you want to use for fish would actually be peanut oil. However, we can never seem to remember that at the stores, so pretty much always use vegetable oil. No real reason, just cuz. So, you're gonna go ahead and pour that into your big pot. I personally like to use a pot rather than a frying pan because it spits at me less, and I appreciate not getting burned by oil, which sucks. So, I'm gonna go ahead, we're doing triple recipe again. So I'm gonna go ahead and pour the whole container in there, boom. We're now gonna go ahead and move the temperature to just above, I know all stovetops are slightly different, but for mine, we're gonna go ahead and use that to about just over 50% heat, so right over the half mark. That's personally what our oil needs to cook out for catfish. Now, next up we're gonna do is probably going to be cutting the catfish. What I personally like to do is go ahead and do the thick pieces of catfish first, thin pieces last, because obviously as you're cooking your kitties, they're gonna get the oil will get cooler and cooler as time goes on. So I like to do thick pieces first, thin pieces last. I personally keep my oven on at 200 degrees. So my oven stays as basically a warmer. So as one batch comes out of the oil, it's gonna go straight into the oven to stay warm until we're completely done cooking. If you do a big cookout with a bunch of friends and you're cooking several cats, again, that's gonna be helpful because you don't want your some of the meat to get cold and others to be warm. That's not cool. So that's how we prevent from that happening. Okay, so pretty much, I mean, this is simple. These are the fillets from the fish, obviously. My goal is to cut them about the same size per cut, okay? So like, that seems pretty obvious, but that's what we're gonna do. So I'm just gonna come in here with a knife, chop, chop. Just wanna make them about the same size because if they're more uniform, they're gonna cook more evenly. So obviously that's what you're gonna wanna do. And you can tell though, the beginning and the end of the fillet is obviously gonna be thin, the end and the beginning, which are the ones that I usually cook last, because that means they're smaller. So just try to get your sizing about the same. like this. Okay, that's that. Done with the hardhead. Okay, so we have now cut up the catfish. Your next step is gonna be the milk bath. You wanna go ahead and just basically pour enough milk to where the catfish is completely covered and gets to soak for a few minutes. I think they usually advise about 10 minutes. So let that catfish soak for 10 minutes. That'll make it very easy to batter. We have our meat soaking. Honestly, I like it to be over the brim of the meat. Unfortunately, guys, I would like to insist on the fact that we are clearly professionals. But we did not pick up enough milk for this here expedition. So we're gonna be rotating them for a few minutes. So we're probably gonna soak for about 15 because we're gonna need to rotate this catfish throughout. Ideally, have enough milk, let it set for the full 10 minutes. So we are gonna move to our first catfish. Now for us, the first one's gonna be the channel cats, okay? So we're gonna go ahead and take that meat out of the milk, which has been soaking for 10 minutes or so. And we're gonna go ahead and drop it into the batter. Now I like to use like kind of like a handful, I don't know, a handful of catfish, that's what I do. Roll it around in the batter, it's nice and soaked. Please be cautious, oil is dangerous, don't burn yourself. Okay, so now we're ready to go ahead and drop that puppy in. Whoop, it's frying. Whoop, and that's some more meat. Whoop, good to go. Okay. Now I'm gonna take another handful of meat, batter it up, and that's about how much of the channel I have is about 2 handfuls. So we're gonna go ahead and take that, drop it in, don't get burned. Whoop. All right, and that's all of our channel catfish, so it's frying up. I'm gonna show you guys what color it is when it's completed. Okay, I'm sure you can hear the glorious sound of this channel catfish frying. It is wonderful. We are about done. I'm gonna show you the color of this. That's the color it looks like, okay? It's like a nice tan brown color. So I'm about to pull it. Basically what I do before putting it into the warmer in the oven is I'm gonna let it fully cook to just above what I just showed you. And I'll show you when I'm done. Once that's finished, I put it on a paper towel for about 2 minutes to pull the oils out, the excess oils, and then I'm gonna slap it on a baking pan, put it in the oven to stay in the warmer. All right, we're about done. Here we go. Okay, we've now pulled all that glorious fish. Oh my gosh, one more piece. Okay, boom. This is the channel. It looks awesome and brown and cooked and yummy and smoking if you can't see it. So now, because I'm cooking 2 more catfish, I'm gonna go ahead and put this on this paper towel for 2 minutes and then into the warmer. Get started on my next cat. Done with all 3 catfish. If you've been cooking along with us, I'm very confident you're gonna love what you have. So what we usually dip ours in is tartar sauce. Now we're about to get on to our taste testing because I am so curious. What cat is better? Can you tell the difference? We're gonna go and taste test without tartar sauce, obviously, although I recommend that for dipping. If you wanna watch the next video of the taste testing, be sure to click that in the description. Have an awesome catfish experience and thank you so much for joining us. If you want to watch the catch portion of this catch and cook, we've included the link over each individual photo so you can go along with us that day and see our experience as we caught these awesome fish.